Do you want to be cool?
Of course you want to be cool.
Do you want to slay the mightiest of foes using only auto attacks?
I know you do.
Did your wife leave you because you play too much Toram?
I miss you, Amanda.
If you answered yes to any of these questions, then I have the perfect weapon for you.
Perfect.
Welcome, everyone, to my complete guide for Knuckles.
Oh my gosh.
In this video, I'll be breaking down everything there is to know about Knuckles, including stats, notable skills, recommended gear, combos, pros and cons, and general tips and tricks. Before we continue with this video, I want to announce an absolutely massive giveaway I'm doing on this channel. Anyone who's watching this video right now has a chance to earn this 2-slotted aching right arm. If you want to find out how to enter this giveaway, watch until the end of this video. And without further ado, let's get right into the Knuckle Guide. Now, when it comes to Knuckle, the build variety is actually insane. Some builds even include magic. But for the sake of this video, we're going to be sticking with builds that revolve solely around the martial skill tree. And with that in mind, there are 2 different stat options that I could recommend you. The first option is full agility, the rest into dexterity. Agility is going to give you extra attack speed, extra attack damage, and extra critical damage. Whereas dexterity will give you extra attack damage, extra accuracy, extra stability, and will even help you do more damage on higher defense bosses. Now, if you'd like a little bit more damage, you could actually go agility, strength. Choosing strength instead of dexterity will leave you with less accuracy and stability, but could potentially increase your overall damage, especially if you have defense pierce on your build. But for anyone looking to pick up Knuckle, I could honestly wholeheartedly recommend agility dexterity the most. The damage difference isn't even that much, so you don't have to worry about losing on too much damage. Alright, let's see what kind of skills Knuckle has to work with. The first thing to note is that Knuckle has flinch, tumble, and stun natively built into their kit. If you get strong chase attack, you might actually have a chance to armor break the opponent just by auto attacking, so I definitely recommend taking the skill. Martial discipline will actually increase your damage a little bit and your attack speed, so this is definitely worth picking up. Chakra is actually going to give you a little bit of MP back when you use it, and it will increase your attack and peer recovery. Energy control is very important. It will reduce all of your damage down to 0 for a short time, and it will also severely boost your weapon attack, which will increase your damage by a lot, and also increases stability. Wonderful. Next, let's look at Rush. This is my recommended DPS skill for Knuckle. It's very cheap at only 4 MP, and it's very quick. Damage is moderate, but this skill is definitely spammable, so absolutely pick this up. Asura Aura is the bread and butter of Knuckle. Ever since tier 5, Knuckle has this huge tool. When you activate this skill, you get an invincibility frame that lets you dodge anything, and this is a completely free skill. It adds great options for MP management because any MP spent in Asura Aura will increase your stacks, which will help you get your MP back when you disable it. Alright, that's about it for the skills and stats. Let's move on to what I recommend for your gear. Alright, let's make this very quick. For the equipment, I will recommend to run Ferocious Beast Claws. It has really high weapon attack, which means you're going to be doing big damage, especially since commonly Knuckle has not so high weapon attack. You pair this with energy control and suddenly it makes a huge difference. For the armor, I recommend just standard attack, critical damage, critical rate. Agility would work fine too, but it's a little harder to get hold of. I recommend running Collar Tie. Right here gives you 7% attack, 7% agility, extra critical damage. I'm running Evil Lithia for extra crit rate. And then, for the additional, if you'd like some extra stability like me, go Glowing Sea Talisman, but Dark Talisman power works just as fine as well. Alright, that's it for the equipment. Alright, now let's talk about why I think that you should use Knuckle. Okay, for anyone on the fence about picking up this weapon and trying it out, I've prepared a little bit of a presentation for you guys to explain the pros and cons of the weapon and a little bit of tips and tricks along the way. Let's get into the pros. the first few pros for Knuckle are going to be fast attacks and easy crit. Agility being your main status means that you're going to have extra animation speed naturally, which is really good, of course. Plus, compare that with the fact that Knuckle's main DPS skills like Rush are just naturally very fast with low animation commitment. Yeah, that's amazing. And easy crit comes from the fact that you get a huge critical rate boost from Asura Aura. Extremely easy to use, especially for new players. Next pro that we're going to talk about is the 0 MP invincibility frame from Asura Aura and the easy 0 MP damage you get from Asura Aura. Okay, we know that when you auto attack while using Asura Aura, you have the little void fists that come out and do continuous damage over and over, and it actually adds up to be quite a bit of damage, all for 0 MP, which is a huge tool that no other weapon in the game has access to. So definitely Knuckle gets to take advantage of this. Next one we're going to talk about is the fact that Knuckle has no animation commitment on any of its skills when using the Abstract Arms skill. This allows you to dodge out of any kind of animation you're doing while having the skill actually continue for you. So you can dodge out of Rush, your Rush damage will continue. You can dodge out of Bash, your Bash will still continue and stun. You can dodge out of Chakra, and you'll still get the buff after it's done charging. And this is just amazing. No other class has, access to this, and I think it's probably one of the best skills in the game alongside Asura Aura. This next one is kind of underrated. In fact, I've underrated this for a long time, but Knuckle is the only weapon skill tree to have flinch, tumble, and stun natively built into its kit. This is actually a pretty big deal, because if you're fighting monsters that you need to farm and actually break, and you're doing this solo, right? Some monsters have resistances to flinch, tumble, or stun. So it makes it difficult as a solo player to farm certain items and equipment from monsters. But for Knuckle, you can kind of use all three of them at will while still being able to do DPS, and that's huge. Okay, that's huge, especially for people who like playing solo. This is a great tool to actually have. And then the last pro that I want to talk about is you have a huge status resist. When using Asura Aura, you are much less likely to be flinched, tumbled, or stunned, including other status. So this is just generally good to have. Ideally, you don't want to be getting hit ever, but this is good, especially when using energy control. Alright, those were the pros. Now let's talk about the cons. Actually, not very many cons with Knuckle, but the first one's going to be low damage. Compared to all of the other meta DPS, such as two-handed sword, one-handed sword, shield, bow, katana, all of those. Okay, Knuckle's damage is just a little bit lower than the rest, okay? This kind of sucks, I guess, but considering how many pros Knuckle has, Knuckle is like the best utility weapon in the entire game. Okay, having access to all of those different, tools to use, you gotta balance it out somehow, and they balanced it by making the damage just a little bit lower. Now, this isn't to say that everything is always going to out DPS you. You can absolutely, if you play smart and effectively, you can absolutely, compare your DPS to any other, in the game, but it's just gonna have a little bit of harder time actually getting that damage out there compared to other weapons. The next con is low range. You have like a 2-meter range for actually hitting monsters, which is not that great, right? So 2 meters doesn't sound like much, but it could be the difference between you getting hit by something and you coming out alive. Now, Knuckle has great skills like Asura Aura for that, free invincibility frame, energy control to tank the damage. So definitely not actually that bad on Knuckle because it has tools to deal with it, but it's something worth mentioning. And then the last one is small PP. No physical pierce, so you're definitely gonna have to build physical pierce in with your Krista and your equipment. But it's manageable, of course. So yes, small list of cons here. Quick disclaimer, I'm definitely not saying that Knuckle always has low damage. I've actually seen Knuckle do more damage than I could have ever imagined, but it just takes a little bit more to get to that high level of damage compared to other weapons. Alright, giveaway time, baby. As a thank you for all of your guys' love and support, I've decided to host a giveaway for my Aching Right Arm 2 slot. To enter, all you have to do is make sure you're subscribed to this channel, leave a like on this video, and then post a comment in the comment section down below telling me what weapon you'd like me to cover next, along with your player IGN. Good Good luck, everybody. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.